You're barely on there.
The service road right by the bridge going down. Yep. Oh, really?
Thank you very much.
Not a lot of last couple years, but I have in the past, so at Madawaska Lake, usually right
They closed it, he lived up there.
Why? Oh, 'cause he lives out on that side?
Yeah, he lives just by us, yeah.
Lives in his parents' old house.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the lake's gone. I mean, you shut down for a year? I mean, who can afford that?
And he, unfortunately, is kind of the destination. I mean, that's how he's making his money. If you can't get there, he's not gonna be that kind of destination, my opinion.
Yeah, that would kill this business.
I know, he got slammed to, maybe heirs, Morocco. He was saying how much he would lose, because they've already told him they weren't.
You had that like Staples or Blackstone.
Blackstone was rented from the past. But the reason air is there is because they use it as a rotation and they trade land with other people, so.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Why don't you start until we
Get a new president and then,
Have me take over?
yeah, till we get a new president.
Yeah.
I know Danielle's got it all set wherever we are, but. So is the plan to elect the president tonight?
I guess so, that's what you wanted.
Well,
wasn't
it's, yeah.
it? I doubt the new person would want.
Ultimately, it's up to the four of you, but I'm afraid that something's gonna come up where I'm gonna need something. And I'm gonna be like, oh, we don't have a
So
per se voted in president.
Who wants it?
We have 4 officers that we need to select. The clerk, president, treasurer, and assistant treasurer.
Are we all?
Nope.
Oh, I thought we were.
You take president for a year?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
yeah.
Okay.
But if someone else, though,
No,
I'm gonna fight you for it.
I can see that.
I'll do it.
No, I don't want to do it. No.
So we need a president, a clerk, and a treasurer.
And an assistant treasurer. Well,
Are you the clerk? Sue?
I am, but I have to
So
be
it's up to-
appointed
to
each
review
year.
it.
Would you, be the treasurer again? And Matt, would you take the
Assistant treasurer?
assistant, whatever that goes?
Basically just sign some stuff if they turn around.
I think that all works for us.
So can we put this into a vote?
Oh, yeah,
so that's-
when we're in session.
Once you're in
I'll be the
session.
first order of business.
We have to wait for Danielle.
She's all, it's all ready to go. Perfect, so we'll open the meeting tonight. Oh, look at that, official. Like at 6:02, Sue. We'll dive right in. The first order of business is gonna be to appoint officers for the upcoming year. And I'll turn it over to the board if anybody wants to make any recommendations.
I'd like to nominate Jay Camp for president.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussions or?
Any other nominations?
You're good for it? Yep. Okay. No?
Okay. Want to put it to a vote? All in favor of Jay being the president? 3, you're gonna abstain, Jay?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay.
Okay, you can take
Turn.
over now.
I move we turn the meeting over to our new president.
Thank you. Wow. We also have to appoint a treasurer. And I would entertain motions.
I would move we reappoint Dave Martin as our treasurer.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Assistant treasurer. I'd nominate Matt Till.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. And we need to appoint a district clerk. I would nominate Suzanne. Oh, I'm
I'd
sorry.
nominate Sue Sands.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 2, approval of the minutes from the December 17th, 2025 meeting.
Move we accept the minutes, last meeting.
Is there a second?
I can second that.
Any discussion?
A lot going on last meeting.
Yeah, there was. All in favor? Financial reports, budget and financial reports for the period ending December 2025. Turn it over to John and Sue.
Yeah, sure. So I've got, I think water is first in the packet, so that's a good place to start. We can start there. So we're getting a pretty good idea of what the unaudited profit and loss is for the full year through the end of December. And also in there is the capital reserve totals as of the end of December. And where we landed with capital expenses for the year. I think everything looks pretty good on the revenue side. It's kind of right on par where we were hoping to be. A little bit over on expenses. We still managed a slight profit for the year, which was always good. Guess we can field any questions that anybody has.
You may have said this and I missed it. Are there any, the books are closed for 2025, or are you expecting any more expenses? Or
We have been paying right along for 2025, but they will be going, or 2026, but they'll be going into the 2025 audit once he comes.
Okay.
And the largest item was the solar that came in for the month. Plus, we had 2 large Versant bills that came in for December.
Are the capital reserve accounts pretty level, or they ratchet down little by little?
They're on page 2. Do
Yeah.
you see them on page 2? As far as the water is concerned, we have roughly $328,000 that we are, have set aside for the reserves. And that represents projects that we have completed, and I still put monthly payments away in the bank. And then you can see we have a contingency account, short-lived asset. We also have one CD that will be maturing at the end of July. But the water has roughly $328,000. And the balance of all of the funds is set aside for special projects on the water side. Does that answer your question, Dave?
Sort of, I guess.
No? Okay, I'm sorry, what?
So I think some of them, we money goes into them every month, and then when the loan payment comes due, we pull out.
Okay.
But then there's also like a bank of cash that's not allocated to any project. It's just sitting there for a project or an emergency.
Yeah, it fluctuates depending on what the payments are then, basically.
Right, yeah.
And the $128,000 would represent what is there in case we should need it for another project.
Yeah, the other is dedicated to the loan payments.
Yes, the balance.
Okay, yeah,
Could-
that answers.
Could you give me an example of a short-lived asset?
Yes, well, maybe John would rather, because we had to use it this year.
Sure, so, rural development is part of their loan, so we have on the Grimes plant, they require to set aside short-lived assets, reserves to purchase things that don't last forever, like computers and vehicles and that kind of stuff that you don't get over a 20-year loan. Those assets don't last 20 years, so they want to make sure that you're setting money aside to pay for things that break or wear out before your loan gets closed out. So it's a requirement of theirs. So that's what we purchased the pickups out of the short-lived assets on each account. I think at the same time, it wasn't required on the water side, but in the past,
No.
they set it up the same way, knowing there was going to be short-lived assets on the water side too, and it was a good practice to have a kind of a pool of money to take care of equipment that doesn't last an overly long time. So
Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
I could have answered that question if I'd looked a little closer.
yeah, no worries.
It's right there, black and white.
If you're okay to move on, we'll go on to the wastewater side. Same thing on this. Looks a little bit better than the other division. Our revenue was a little higher than expected, and our expenses were a little bit lower. So I think that's a good trend, which has been difficult in wastewater for a while.
Yep.
Any other questions on this division?
Yep.
Any other questions on the financial reports at all? Hearing none, I guess I would accept a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Right.
Thank you. Turn the meeting over to John with the multi-department updates, but I just wanted to congratulate John and the staff for the great work on the CDS. That's great news.
It is fabulous news, yes. Yeah. We can start with that one if you want, Jay. That will put me all out of order, so I'll touch on that a little bit more as
When
we
you
get a
get to
little
it.
deeper into the minutes. So I think the first update, I think we talked about it in passing, that upgrading our phone and internet, that process is still happening. At this point, all that's left is just the cutover of the office, so all the infrastructure is installed. And they're going to schedule a time to come in and pull out all of our old phones, put the new ones in, and make sure everything is kind of integrated together. And I think that the city office just went through theirs, might have been this week. So we don't anticipate any problems, but when we schedule it, we're going to schedule it around what is some of our slower time of the month, where we're not taking as many payments. So if we have issues with our internet or phone, customers are not going to be, not as many customers are going to be affected during that transition. But I don't think we'll have any issues. It's only a handful of phones, so it's not a full network over multiple buildings, over different locations. So. I know we've talked about it in the past as well. The question's been asked: how much are we saving on solar? Are we saving anything? What's the savings? So I started to dig into it and quickly realized that it's going to take a lot of bandwidth to figure out the actual savings, because you have to go enter every bill for every month and then use the standard rate to figure out what we would have paid if we didn't have the credits, and then apply the credits to the account. And so I'm like, I know Chuck Kelly is a master at that because he's done it for Limestone Utilities for years. He has a contract with Limestone Town to do their farms as well. So he spent some time and actually set up this giant spreadsheet that has it all in there. And at the end of the day, it comes out to, in 2024, we saved 72,000 rounded. And then since I made the management report, he finished the 2025, and our savings in 2025 was 86,000, which is great.
Yeah. That's good to
and
know.
We've also identified some ways to save additional money by changing the cascading order. So originally, when the farm went online, the power company would only allow 10 accounts to be on the cascade list. So all your credits apply to your first count, and when that's paid to 0, then it goes down to your next one. But since then, they've changed the law, and you can have as many as you want. So getting the smaller meters that we pay more per kilowatt for should be on the cascade list before the other ones. So by readjusting it, we're going to see additional savings. We're going to cascade through most of our 24 accounts before we get to the big ones that will use up the rest of the credits. So there is some room for some savings, and
The small amount kilowatt hours cost more than the bigger accounts, is
Yes,
basically
yeah.
what you're saying.
yeah, like the ES accounts, the standard rate changes monthly, and it's lower in the summer when we're producing the most solar and we're using up those credits right away, and we run out come winter when the price gets higher. So trying to balance getting those credits later into the year when we're paying more for power is kind of the key. And so we're going to kind of work through a strategy to maximize that. And then one of our ES accounts, the pump station at Grimes, is right on the border, right on the threshold of actually being an ES account. We're trying to figure out how we can get that usage down just enough to get below the threshold, which would drop us out of the demand, the monthly demand charges, which that's $12,000 to $13,000 a year for that demand fee that we're paying on just that one account. So hopefully there's room for some more savings. It's going to take convincing of the power company that our usage is down and we no longer really belong in that category. So we'll see how that debate works out with them. But that's kind of our next step, to kind of maximize all the savings that we can by just shifting some accounts around. We're not producing any more power from the panels, but just reallocating the credits. So that's been a big help.
You got my interest about the smaller solar at the low use stations.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh yes, yeah, yes. Thank you.
I like the idea of that. We get off the grid altogether on those.
Yeah, and that's great because like right now when the grid goes down, we lose the telemetry from those because it's just tied to the grid power. They're not on their generator. So by getting those on their own battery backup and their own solar, the plant generator will kick on, the SCADA will be on, and then we'll get telemetry coming in from the well, so we'll still know. We won't be missing any data when we lose power. So, and it's silly to pay $500 or $600 a year in basically fees for really no usage at all. Very, very minimal. It's low voltage stuff that uses hardly any power. So we want to make sure we get something that is reliable and cost effective to take its place. So that's kind of the next step.
Any idea on the cost of those?
I don't yet, no.
So Caribou is enrolled, as you know, in the community resilience program through the state, so there may be grant money available for that.
Is Penny the point of contact for that? Or?
She would be, yep.
Okay. And I think we're ready to move on to water unless there's any questions or other things you can think of that you'd like to discuss? So, knock on wood, we've had only 2 major water breaks this year. Neither of them surfaced. We had to go out and crews had to go out and look for them, find them. One took longer than expected, so it was nearly midnight before they got done. And then first thing the next morning, they started the second one. So they worked a lot of hours in a short number of short duration. So I'm happy that they were willing to just bust them out and be done with it, and just very helpful.
What's typical for the number of breaks per year? Do you have a historical record? or-
I know there is one. I don't know, and I know a long time ago there was a lot, like
Dozens.
30 plus
Yeah,
a
dozens.
winter, and a combination of kind of the way the pumps were run and improving the infrastructure over the years has cut it down. I think we had about 8 or 9 last year, which was higher than normal. So I think we're on track to, knock on wood, that we're on track to be kind of back to normal, but
The line replacements we've done have done a great job taking care of that problem.
yeah, it's
And the frost is deep this year, right? I mean,
yeah, when it was several weeks ago now, and yeah, there was one of them that was in the lawn under the snow. There wasn't really any frost, but the stuff in the road, I guess, is pretty deep. The PUC rate case was accepted and approved, so that will go into effect. Customers will start seeing it on their March bill. That's for the 1.5%, which was good. Everything went well.
Was that a few dollars for most customers?
Yeah, I don't even think it was a few dollars for each.
22 cents a
Yeah, it's
quarter,
just,
or
yeah.
22 cents a month. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Oh.
went from 22.50 to 22.72. 22.72 a month. That's for the minimum.
But like again, anything helps buffer those giant rate cases that are needed over time.
Yeah.
So if we do 1.5% every year for 5 years, and then we only have to do a 5%, it's better than doing the 10 to 15 at once. So. Not a lot of movement on the NBRC grants. We've done everything that we can on our end. We're just waiting for their independent environmental review to be done before we know if we have to do any other studies before they give us the notice to proceed. We did meet with them. John Gulliver from NMDC, who's our point of contact for the grant administration, Jim Lord and myself met with NBRC to kind of make sure that they understood how urgent it was to keep the process moving. Most of their projects, when they get the award, they're not ready for months, but we were already ready before the grant came through. We wanted to make sure we could kind of nudge them to keep things moving. So we have some strategies that should be able to, we can work in parallel while we wait for the notice to proceed, still meet their requirements, but get us out to bid sooner rather than later. So that's still on track. That was good news. I was afraid we were going to lose the year, but right now it looks like it will be salvaged unless the environmental review says we have to do something that takes months. Then we'll lose a year, but I don't know.
So
We'll
is
see.
Jim about ready to issue the invitation for bid on that?
Yeah, it's, the paperwork, everything is about ready, but we were just waiting a week or so to see if the environmental review will come in, because they said the initial status of it would be known before the end of this month, so it should be due any time.
Okay,
But if we don't get it pretty soon, we're just gonna put it out that it will be, the acceptance of the bid will be contingent on getting a notice to proceed from NBRC.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen right away, then it gives us an out, but we don't wanna waste Jim's time, the district's time, or contractors' time to bid a project that might not happen, so we're just trying to make sure that we're pretty confident that it's gonna happen before we start, so.
And this project's already permitted.
It's 100% permitted with the, main DEP and the Army Corps, so it's ready to go, in the eyes of the state. But
Should be a box they check saying good, but
it should be, and we sent them all the main paperwork from their findings, so hopefully there won't be an issue, but never can tell, I guess. We touched on it kind of in passing while we were waiting for the meeting to begin, about the Caribou Bridge closure. It does affect CUD. I did put in comments to the DOT that, you know, it is a bit problematic for the district having to drive all the way through Prescal or through Fort Fairfield to get to the water station. We're gonna lose a lot of time in a short summer season.
Is that twice a day or something like that?
It's usually once a day, but there are times when they have to go back for something, but typically we try and only go there once a day, and we'll really try to focus on that, if that's the case, to get everything done in one trip, but I think what we see is one of the bigger issues is calls, like if there's an emergency there. It's gonna take a long time for our crews to get around, whereas right now it's just a few minutes. It's gonna be 30 minutes, so we'll make it work, but it is, I mean, you can't mitigate every risk out, but we at least made our concerns known that there is we feel there is a potential concern.
Can you do that really in 30 minutes and follow the speed limit? I mean,
I haven't actually drove it, but I looked on Google Maps and it said it was a 30-minute that's from CUD office to the station.
Is that through Fort Fairfield?
Yeah, that's through Fort Fairfield, yeah.
Yeah.
And then moving on to wastewater, we did hear that the FEMA grant did not make it through before the requirement, the $100,000 threshold where it has to go to Washington DC for approval. So that has been sent. We'll see how long it takes for them to review. I'm not sure what they don't have the main emergency management doesn't have an idea of their timeline. It's out of their hands. It's in the federal hands. So we'll see how long it takes. And Jay touched on it at the beginning. The CDS grant is very close. It went through the House and through the Senate, and both wings of government have passed it, and it's been bundled and it's on President Trump's desk for signature as part of the Department of Interior budget through 2026. So it's a very large package. I will let you know once it's been signed into law, but I thought it could be as early as this week, but we'll see.
He's in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he can still sign stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Typically on
pen.
those, they do a ceremony, Oval
Yeah.
Office ceremony, so,
Yeah, there'll have to be some publicity to go with it.
yeah. And then moving on to the DOT again, they're looking at the Presteel Stream crossing on Route 1. We have our sewer line that runs over Presteel Stream in the DOT right away. And early indications are, I've got a follow-up meeting tomorrow, actually, with the DOT, but they would like for us to plan to remove 600 to 1,200 feet of that pipe so they can do their work. And then we'll be able to go back in, but they're looking for a temporary pump around while they do that work. And I told them I can't start developing a plan until I know what your plan is. Is this gonna happen over the course of a day, 6 months? Like all that is dependent. It's gonna be problematic because there's no power out there. It's
No.
kind of a stretch, there's no power, so we can't just put in a temporary pump station and pump it around because there's no source of power. So,
Mhm.
not to say we can't get other pumping sources, but none of them appear to be a good solution, but we'll see what their plans say. This isn't planned until 2027, so we still have some time to figure it out, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that there is another project brewing that's gonna cost the district a fair amount of money before it's done, so.
I just thought of an option, but I won't say it.
I think we had that same thought.
I'm just trying to picture where that's down kind of across from where my office would be at NMDC down,
No, on the bypass part.
Oh,
on the bypass,
On the
okay.
bypass, yeah. So we're right below your office, that they're doing that one this summer.
That one too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's confusing me, okay.
Yeah, so they're, and the same, I guess, method that they leave it up to the contractor to choose their method, but the plans are about the same for this one, so they're assuming whoever does this one this year will do the same one next year, so they said that might be a good opportunity to see how it's done this year at that site, but.
Yeah, and how long it takes and all that.
Yeah, how long, but I haven't seen if it's, I'm assuming it's gonna be, at least a month plus, but
But we don't have any infrastructure over the one
no.
this year?
No, yeah, nothing.
But do our pipes run along the street? Like 1,200 feet seems like quite a long.
Yeah, it seems like a long ways to me too, but I guess they have to open up the site quite wide because it's so deep there. And they have to put in like a temporary road, so I don't, like I said, I don't quite know how they're gonna make it work. 600's a lot, 1,200 seems like a really lot of real estate to dig up, but.
That PVC pipe, that, is a force main, the pump station's not far from there.
Yeah, it's, I wish it was on the force main side, but it's on the gravity side.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh, it's worse.
yeah, it is worse. That's, because originally I'm like, oh,
Ugh.
force main will make it work, we'll just run it down below or something, but
Yeah.
it's on the gravity side.
Yeah, I guess it's a situation where you just need to run temporary power, I guess, the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. There's not a lot of flow out there, which is good, so that makes it more manageable. It's not
Yeah.
like a main, artery that feeds like the pump station that coming into the wastewater treatment plant or something like that, so that's good, but.
So from a cost standpoint, I know we don't have cost
Yeah.
estimates, but how do we pay for that? Okay,
Yeah, I think we'll have to see what the cost is. Sewers, on the wastewater side, there's not as many rules as there are on the water side, but on the water side, they do allow you to do like for a project like this, you can raise your rates. If it's $5 a person for the year, whatever, you can collect that as like a special fund to pay for expensive projects like this, so could be an option, but I guess we'll just have to see what we think the cost is when the time comes. And maybe originally they didn't know that we were in that right away. So maybe now that they know we're there, they can shorten that 600 up or work with us about how to work around it, so we're still really early in this. It's not even fully designed yet, so. And then moving on to other business, I know we talked about discussing the fluoride some more. I still owe you the sent up a document kind of explaining where we stand. It's not ready yet, but
Now, I know you're going to have all the problems it causes. You're gonna have something on why we don't need fluoride, or, I mean,
I don't think, not from me, because I'm not an expert in the public health side of fluoride. I can speak to what it does to equipment and buildings.
well, could you check? I mean, let's say a family says, what, fluoride? I mean, off the top of your head, say, well, that's good. So you're gonna take it out. Do I need to do something in my home as a family to replace that?
Yeah,
Or,
that-
you know, that kind of stuff? Also, when you do, I'd like to see a little video that we could put on our website, like showing us or showing the public what you showed us when we visited,
Yeah.
what it does.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, and that's the, I think that's my biggest fear is, I don't want to take a side because that's not, in my position, it's not my role to take a side on fluoride or not fluoride, it's up to the community. So I don't, I mean, I can lay out what I can see and what I know, but, I mean, it's a very decisive issue. It's split about 50-50 on the whole United States level, so it's, half the people are gonna be very upset and half are gonna be happy. So it's gonna be decisive this year. Every time it's come up in the state, other than Ashland's was pretty benign, but if you get into Portland and Bangor and Waterville, who've all had these referendums, it gets very heated.
And have they passed or not passed?
Some have and some haven't, yeah.
No,
But it comes at a cost.
But I'd like to be able to answer, we want to take it out because it's really damaging to equipment
Mhm.
and it's expensive for us.
Mhm.
This is what you can do instead. I mean, I think
I think we can
I think
find-
we need to have
We should.
advice or on options or whatever.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't feel comfortable giving the advice because some
can-
people say fluoride's bad, some say it's good.
We can find
Personally, I don't
we can
know.
find a source on the
Yeah.
web that people can go look at, from CDC or somebody like that, you know,
Yeah.
make up your own mind,
Yeah. Yeah. I know that,
without
Maine-
promoting one way or the other.
Mhm.
Right.
last year Maine did have a bill that was sponsored to remove it statewide from all utilities that it died on the floor, I guess. But I looked at it, there were 70-some comments, and most of them were people that were in favor of fluoride. Just looking at the list, I didn't read all the letters, but there was a lot of dental associations and hygienists.
There's a lot of money behind fluoride, which is
Yeah.
why it's in our water.
Yeah.
Those probably
Yeah.
were all form letters too.
A lot of powerful aluminum companies that want it
Yeah.
in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that, we had some lien discharges. Those are already been taken care of, so that's good. Is there anything else that anybody has for this evening?
Yeah.
It's February 11th work. It's the next scheduled meeting.
Works for me.
Yep, seems good.
Schedule a meeting for February 11th. Not sure what we have to do with Caribou. I mean, I'm assuming that's our regularly scheduled meeting, so they typically would know anyways.
Sure, yeah.
And we will check.
Yeah, we'll
with
double
Danielle.
check.
Yeah,
with
no,
you
no,
on
yeah,
the
no,
way
I'm-
out, yeah.
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 Does anybody else have any other business?
Have any?
Hearing none, do we have to take a motion to
Move to adjourn.
adjourn?
I thought you wanted an executive session, or do you not need it?
I don't think I need it unless.
Okay. Move to adjourn?
Yes.
Second?
So we're adjourned. I don't think we need to take a vote, right? As long as there's motion and second, we didn't. Because I don't want to be the one that has that fail, and we have to sit here for
Yeah, what do you do then?
filibuster.
So I've been recruiting a new board member, so it's been, but we got anyone to sign up.